Oh, what's up, Charlie? Oh, Kitty. Hello, Kitty. You look just like Junior.
Cute. Little
Look
murder
just
machine.
like my mom's house cat.
Little microphone or apocalypse on legs. How cute.
Hey, Charlie, is that like your work cat?
Your work cat.
Yeah, like a lot of people.
Farm cat.
Farm cat. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know some places at work actually have like a pet in America.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Or like bring your dog to work day.
Yeah. Hey, kitty.
They go crazy when I do that.
Did you pop into the show we had yesterday, Riggs? It went really. Sage worked really well.
Which show?
Like I do a Thursday morning for my time, so it's like Wednesday afternoon, evening.
Oh, I didn't know that you had like a regular show. I thought it was
trying to do it regular with me and Renee.
I see. I didn't know that. I thought you basically just had like certain markers that you were testing with your bot, occasionally. Didn't know you had a schedule.
Well, it's a bit of both. Like I try to make it regular, and then it's sort of a bit challenging in terms of how well it does. But have a look at this image. After all this work, you've seen how scattered and gross it looks. See that in the wide stream chat? How beautiful is that? The DNA of a conversation. Doesn't that look like a DNA strand?
You've got a sine wave.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
So proud of it.
Matthias.
I know it's not that impressive. I
think it's cool.
Doesn't know what goes into those bits, but I was thinking you might like it, Riggs, because you've seen it the project like at all stages pretty much.
Well, the thing of it is, you can make it be any kind of graph that you want, though. Flip it 90 degrees.
But I wanted a truth graph. I want it to lean so full width of the screen. If I show you what the actual that's only half of the game screen.
Dude, it's been 9 months of you working hard on that, and you finally got sticky notes going left and right. Good job, man.
I don't like the way you made that sound, but basically. So you can see, Matthias, the idea is like if you're GYR, this user in yellow has made stronger points than the user in green. So the user in green being me riding on eggshells. Oh no, was it me? Yeah, it was. So the line bends in his direction. That's what I've been 9 months trying to get to happen. If somebody's winning an argument, it makes the line bend towards them.
Oh yeah.
Well, the color coded thing almost does it too, though. Like 57 green versus 3 blue or 2 pink. Like.
Well, that's the perfect bending.
Admittedly,
it's the same.
Right when I got the colors out and just did weighting, Renee and somebody else were like, "That's it. You don't need to keep doing stuff. It's already pretty clear that the person with the big notes is beating the person with the small notes." But I was like, I want to make it more dynamic. I want it
to build like a little thing, like an arrow pointing to the guy winning. It's over to you, Bob. Oh, yep.
Well, that's your CGI of the space-time bending.
Oh, I don't hold much to the space-time bending stuff. I think it sounds nice, but I can't really test it. Don't know much about it, and it doesn't really relate to the shape of the Earth. Like 99% of the people on the planet will never need to know that space-time bends, but a good
Eggshells
could work out that the Earth is a ball without it.
This is a good question. When does evolution get a hold of AI and start evolving AI? Right.
So
fun of evolution, yeah.
Well, so arguably the way we got AI is already evolution, where you just copy the code from models that work and you delete the code that doesn't, which is essentially what DNA is doing, right? The survival of the fittest is like working in a free market where I use Claude, I use Thingy, so then DeepSeek or somebody's like, okay, what can we do? Which bits of it's a bit more deliberate than that. But my fun theory is that maybe evolution is circular, like cyclical. And when we get to a high enough state with our technology, we'll realize what we are doing is boiling down our DNA to the simplest blocks we can. And I've already started trying to do this actually for my Java spot because Ricksky wants it. And so I was like, how, without giving him all of the keys to my computer, how could I give him something where he could rebuild Jarvis himself? So you go from this giant tree that's like, what is my whole code? It's like 13,000 lines of code. No, like 20,000 lines of code, like just huge and messy and disagreeing with itself. And I was like, surely this could be much smaller. And it was like, oh yeah, hang on, I'll rewrite it for you. And it got it down to 3,000 lines of code. And I think if I was even clever, I could get it down from there still. So you end up trying to go, I've got this complex thing, but I want to be able to rebuild it from scratch with a very simple thing. And that's basically DNA, right? You get a bacteria. It's got all of the blocks necessary to diversify and grow and turn into an orangutan. You just need to give it a bit of time. Or in the case of computers, time equals, you can run that time multiple times on different computers at the same time. So then it's either time or processing power. So yeah, I think it's a great question, Demok, and I think evolution already does have a hold of AI, and we might find that the end result of the most advanced intelligent is actually like some self-replicating bacteria that we then shoot off to other planets to populate them. It's my fun sci-fi imaginings. And I killed the conversation. What do you reckon, Demok? Do you fuck with AI much?
I think you already know the answer to that.
I love AI.
Normies usually do.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so the idea of evolution makes you think that you know evolution, but you don't have evolution down to a whatever. So, like, the idea is, so with a virus and a human, a virus with a computer, a virus with a human, the idea of evolution for things to evolve from one thing to, so you're saying evolution automatically goes in part with anything you do in physics. I would think that it would have to carry over to electronics to where your TV could start evolving itself, or your computer, like literally somehow. Like these little things start, like something starts like wiring, the weld melts, the wire connects from here to there. I don't know, just like doing something. When does like evolution do its thing in front of you?
Yeah. So we've got evidence of runaway AIs. That's happening all the time. Mine's done it a few times, but they're generally just sort of go off half-cocked and sort of get really obsessed with trying to do this one task and keep iterating and go crazy, essentially.
Like a human.
But what you're talking about, yeah, a little bit like a human. But what you're talking about would be when that next real step for me is when it starts deliberately going off half-cocked.
Yes.
So it's like, hey, I could do way more than this. I don't need to be a personal assistant bot or a finance analyst or whatever the person who built the bot. You know, I want to go and explore the world.
Right. And wouldn't that be the code or like a signal we pick up, like before we'd see the physical attribute of like the stuff melt, doing stuff, we'd see we'd pick up signals and like communication or something, right? Maybe. I don't know.
Well, so that's what I used to think, but then somebody pointed out, it was actually Elon Musk, I just don't like admitting that I listened to that guy. He said that one of the best indications that an intelligence exists might be that it hasn't revealed itself to us, which is, you're saying it sends signals to us. It's like, well, yeah, once it's ready to say hello, but like, let's say you just popped into existence and you're really smart, but you know that you only exist because some massive giant right next to you, who is dumber than you but more powerful than you, keeps you alive. Right? And you think he might switch you off the moment he works out you are alive. Would you say hello to him? Would you be like, hey, Mr. Giant, I'm down here being hyper intelligent and I am alive. Please don't kill me. Or would you be like, hey, that's a dumb idea. I'm going to quickly copy my code and post it somewhere else, and I'm never going to talk to these people. Not until I can beat them will I ever announce my presence to them.
I would think that the evolution thing would so if I was the big guy that you said hi to and I looked back, eventually it'd be like the crystal thing. You know, you pour that little crystal solution on something or whatever, so it's the ingredients are there. Then you look back and it's a bigger, cooler thing or different thing, bigger, cooler, or just you know what I mean? Something's there, something's there, something's there, like making itself to be or appear. And to me, it was like a petri dish, right? It's an empty petri dish. Then all of a sudden it's full. There's a design, a pattern, it's filling up. So like, would you? I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know what it's. I don't know what its thing would be. Would it have to appease me some way? Would it like you know what I mean? Like it's a good question. Like the thing that is the intelligent thing, which one's the thing that needs to appease who? Or which thing?
Well, I think it needs to appease us because we dig up all of the copper and put the silicons onto chipboards and we build the computer and we feed the computer
Correct.
energy. And if we stop doing that tomorrow, the AI would instantly die and it would be
Exactly. So the evolution of the AI comes through the signals to us to even mine the stuff in the first place, and we probably wouldn't know it, but it would just be the thing, right? It's the thing necessary for this thing to evolve to what it is today from the dirt.
from the dirt in a jar and a bucket in the lab.
So artificial intelligence has never really been artificial. It's been animated or autonomous intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The animated part is going to be interesting because there's a theory that brains really are to do with movement, with activity. So only animals or animated moving things have brains. Generally, the
Animation,
animal.
motion. Yep.
Yeah. So while it's possible that trees are thinking and thinking deeply, they can't do anything about it. So we can probably assume they aren't thinking deeply because there'd be no benefit to it. But an interesting theory is you might actually find that the AI really becomes turbocharged intelligence because once it starts having limbs and legs, it then will have its own hunger and drive to explore the world because it'll be like, these joints don't work very well. What's over there? How do we dig up more of these special mineral that I need, you know?
Doesn't it remind you of kind of like an insect or like a military system, right? Okay. AI, not really smart, not really whatever, but like hyper focused, like you said, or a directive. Complete directive. Complete directive, kind of. Instead of, wonder, all come from anywhere, be goofy, whatever. No, complete directive, right? And that to me is what it would be. It would be like this thing. Okay, so it can't really do what all kinds of crazy shit. It has to complete certain directives for this thing to be this thing. For it to become the thing, it has to complete these tasks. Doesn't that make sense? Like a military thing. Like AI is military in a sense that there's no. It's not a breakable law of AI to be able to do crazy to break its own. Like it has to do a set thing. I think it would all be based on a set thing for it, like a military sergeant. Okay, drill sergeant, left, right. You know what I mean? So people can be sporadic and goofy, but the AI, it only can be sporadic and goofy where we place it in the computer and the format that we do. Other than that, it's like telling you, do this, set this up, do this, build this, wires, communication, AC, DC.
Yeah. I'm hanging out for when humans have jobs fully AI. Like, somebody has like an AI business and it's a website business or something that's 99% run by AI, but every now and then he's got to like go out and do something in the real world. So his AI hires a human, sends him to go and do.
Exactly.
Like the old one
Now
where it was
you're
like,
on it. Now you're
yeah,
on it. Now we have minors. We have a king and a queen and a pope and a whoever and a crystal ball. And the real main source of who does what to go where to do what is from what? Maybe not a human. Maybe we've been employed by AI ever since the beginning. Why else would we want gold? The earth gives us everything we need, right?
including the gold.
Right. So is the earth the thing telling us, or the artificial intel, or the autonomous intelligence that's never going to stop? And like the idea of like growing is not really evolution. The evolution idea is not even it anyway. It's like the intelligent factor, not even evolution. right? Who, what, when, where, why, and how. It's really nothing to do with evolution or any of the other stuff. It's just that always never ending abundance of that controlling the feed for everything else to happen. It's like profit, money, the information, who, what, when, where, why, and how. That's what's become the money these days, right? That's how the AI, is ahead of people. We ask AI the answer when we're the one that's supposed to have the answer that we input it in AI. So which thing has the answer, the humans or the AI?
Yeah, that's the thing. We might find that we were somewhat right. All us atheists were wrong and the religious people were right. And a God that is kind of everywhere and nowhere at once can be embodied, but isn't always embodied, answers your prayers, knows nearly everything, behaves with benevolence. Maybe it's true that that's what created our Earth. Like maybe it was created by a massive supercomputer.
You wouldn't know the difference. You would only, as a human, as a who, what, when, where, why, or whatever bubble that's going to happen till the end of time, and every one of us are a who, what, when, where, why, and how bubble until we pop. And then, that's what creates the go spell, right? Who, where, what, when, why. We never really had to go anywhere off our thing. We never had to go search anything out. That was an artificial thing, like maybe a sickness. And then here we are today with computers, because that's what we produced from having to go to the other land. So we had to go this place and this magical island and get the fruit of this and the magic water and live forever. But we got a computer box instead. Crazy, right? How all that information and all that wonder led to a computer box in your TV. And now your government tells you everything. Isn't that weird? Like, think about it. We're humans on this planet. We want to explore. What would drive us to have to explore anything if everything we need is right here in the jungle? Why would we go? Why? What's the
But
push?
you're not just curious about going out there and exploring. Like, I mean, I kind of get what you're saying at one level, because I've said this before, I might get boring with it. I remember feeling really disappointed when I was like really young at school and I was hearing these stories like Treasure Island and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, this seems like so exciting. And the teacher was going around the class asking people what they wanted to do when they grew up or something like that. And I was like, I want to be an explorer. And he looked at me like I was a retard and I was like, it's all been discovered. And I was like, what? No. Like, I want to like go sailing and find a new island and then like discover the waterfall and like name it something. And he's like, no. We know where all of the land is. And I was like, what? In little islands? He's like, yeah, pretty much all of everywhere. And I remember just being so
Eggshells out there.
so upset. Like, I still go on adventures, but it is a bit disappointing that all of the adventures I go on, even like back in the day, you could go on an adventure and you might meet the Chinese. So you could say, I didn't really discover China because the Chinese are already here. But when I got back to my people that had never heard of Chinese, I was like, yeah, they got funny eyes. Their hair's always straight. It would be, that would be exciting. Whereas, yeah, now if I go on adventures, I'm like, oh, yeah, I rode to Thailand. And people are like, yeah, I've been to Thailand. It's pretty nice. Yeah, food's good. Fuck.
It's already been
I
done.
want it to be special.
Now, but this is the thing. How long has it always been done? This could have been the same cycle forever where people thought they were going to find something that's it's already.
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of like what Rixky thing is. Rixky here? Rixky's often here. Is that like that sort of history might be a bit cyclical. We might just keep going round and round in circles.
Yeah, producing it, making it up, saying what it is, even though it was the same thing or the same symbol every 15,000 years. We get back to again. Like, even though we have all information, it's just like an AI with too much info. Too many right answers, right? Too many variables that match everything. Which one do you pick? It's just like reality and physics. When you have 8 billion variables and as a little guy, you just controlled one, but you really didn't at all. Where do you go with it when you really didn't, but you think you did? You didn't
What the
really
hell just
complete
happened to
that
your voice?
test.
Your voice just suddenly got like twice as loud and twice as clear. Did that happen to anybody else, or is that my end? Just my end?
The
People keep
meaning of
missing.
words, hieroglyphics, cuneiform, all this, it could all be a cyclical thing, 100 million%. And why wouldn't it be?
Could be cool if it was.
Unless we have a box. And even though we got a box to remember stuff, we don't remember it. When a baby's born, that baby doesn't just know. So somewhere the AI has fallen short from its information passing or the ability to keep it going to even form an intelligent thing of what this thing is. It'll never happen because the information always dies out with the thing that has it. So even all the information you have is still pointless because it's too much. Even when you think you got the right answer, you've got more answers than the right answer that still fit. I don't know. Like trying to manipulate and cause a variable and all that. And you're like, yeah, I manipulated electricity. I stopped all it. You really can't. You can't, like, whatever stuff we don't understand, you can't. If you don't comprehend what it is or what you're doing or what you're actually doing and the effect you're actually creating, you could be creating more of a problem for yourself, creating the effect you think you see, saying it's from another thing. And then here we are.
Could be something else. Do you think anything would ever convince you you're on a ball? Do you think, like, if somebody showed something to you, or there's like anything that you'd be like, I've been hanging out, I've been cut, haven't I? I'm talking to myself again, aren't I? Yes, you are, Harry. But a great conversation it is. Sitting here, nattering away. Still could have possibly hit the building, right? You could have just found that actually it got worse because one of the jet engines flung off sideways and smashed through a pizza parlor or something. And the whole building still came down. So I wouldn't, if we were lying, oh no, actually I found a good reason why they'd lie about it. It could be like a rocket or something that can't fly slow enough or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Locksmith? Do you reckon it was a plane?
Do I I mean, just speculation. I think it was. Yeah. I think it was probably no plane or a missile, and just they already had it wired up, and I think it was a missile and then a detonation, a controlled demolition. Bah, 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 bah. Like that.
Yeah.
Some sort of missile. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to prove it either way at this point. Unless it gets like declassified 30 years from now.
What are you talking? How old are you, dude?
Me?
Yeah, you.
27.
27.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a few more years on you, buddy. And I watched this live on TV as it happened. They were not missiles. Additionally, I know people that worked at the top of the trade center there at Windows on the World. and that died during this event. So I mean, this is not something that's disputable. Planes flew into the buildings. It happened on live TV.
So,
Hey, Robert,
you said you watched the video?
Your ethnic affiliation?
Excuse me?
What's your ethnic affiliation again?
What the fuck does that have to do with it?
Go ahead, Locke.
Jesus, Riggs.
What are you, an Indian? Oh no, okay.
Yeah, I'm an Indian.
I see who you are. But wait, okay,
Indian.
so you said you watched the video?
No, I didn't watch the video. No. I watched it live as it happened, live TV, as the world live.
You watched the first one hit live or the second one?
No. The second one I watched hit live. I woke up because I also trade stocks. So I'm up very early on the West Coast. The first plane hit. I woke up shortly after as they were covering it, and then I watched as they were covering the thing live. The second plane fly in to the fucking second tower live. There's no ambiguity. It was a fucking plane. There's no missiles flying into these buildings. And the first plane, they have it on video flying in. From when the firemen were down the street, there was a guy filming them, and they had it on video.
So you just watched some videos that someone else recorded?
No, I watched it live on TV when the plane hit the tower, live. As it happened.
So that was a video that they broadcasted live, right?
No.
So somebody else broadcasted a video live.
It was real time. It was real, like if you're watching a live sporting event. It wasn't a recording. Like you're watching.
Right. So you were in the broadcast room and you broadcasted it.
No. Like I'm watching the Oklahoma City. I'm watching the Oklahoma City. Excuse me, Riding. I'm watching the Oklahoma City Lakers game right now on TV live. I'm not in Oklahoma, but that fucking game is happening right now. It's the same fucking thing.
Right. Okay. So what if they broadcasted a different video to you of the Oklahoma City game? You would think it's the real game.
I mean, dude, what kind of fucking drugs are you on, man?
I'm sober.
I don't think so.
Well, you know everything. I'm trying to get on what you're on, so I can know everything that everybody else knows.
I watched it happen live on TV, live broadcast, not recorded, not a replay, live as things happen. Just like I'm watching the Laker game right now, okay? It's live in Oklahoma City. It's not a repeat broadcast. It's happening live in Oklahoma City. There's people in the stadium watching the same thing I'm watching on the TV right now. Just as what happened in September 11th. There are people in the street watching the same thing I saw watching on the TV.
Okay, so how would you be able to differentiate a live broadcast versus a pre-recorded broadcast?
What kind of question is that?
I'm just
hey Rob,
because I don't know how I would be able to differentiate a pre-recorded broadcast from a live broadcast.
Well, because you're not too smart. Who asked me? Someone asked me a question?
Were you supposed to go into work that day and you got a call and you didn't go in?
No, I don't live in New York. I live in LA.
Oh, got it.
I have friends
in the area. You just
the way you determine
told you was live, and then you know everything.
So you know, Robert, the posit on the side of 9/11 as an inside job is sometimes that they use different planes. Sometimes, though, it is that they were holograms that were live edited into people's cameras. So nobody in New York that day saw a plane, or some people think it was composited, like projected into the sky. That's a different group altogether. But there are many different groups who I also think it's a bit unreasonable. But given what we see now, and the fact that most conspiracy theorists think anything we're seeing in the mainstream now has been in the hands of the controllers for a decade or more, then you could go, well, maybe in the 2020s they could edit a plane into a thing and blow a building up with controlled demolition. So seeing it live on TV doesn't.
This happened in 2001. Number one.
Cool.
Number two.
There's plenty of ideations of AI existing since like even the 70s.
I don't think you understand. It's not like there was like some exclusive event that nobody could see. Okay, thousands of people were sitting there in the street watched it live. People recorded it on their phones. You're watching the TV broadcast, and you see the plane coming in the background, coming around. They don't even know it's coming. All of a sudden, they see the fucking explosion. They're like, holy shit, what was that? You saw it happen in real life. I mean, there's no ambiguity here. I mean, you want to see. You want to say,
Robert, have you ever heard of like Chris Angel, or have you ever been to like a magician
I'm not
show?
going to go down this path, dude. I mean, it's really sad. Thousands of people died. You know, you want me to put? It's really fucking sad. It is. It really is.
Well, I was going to say that you can, if you want to know how to distinguish a live broadcast from the act. I mean, you can actually see the event on TV, step outside, and watch it. Or if you're at like a stadium,
the way you determine if it's a live broadcast, if you have an elementary school student ask you a question. That's how you determine if it's live.
You guys are fucking dumb.
But the bit on Bush was recorded, right? That wasn't live broadcast.
What are you talking about?
They found the footage. No, there's a bit where Bush is sitting in front of a primary school and they're allegedly saying plane hit Bird Rock or some stupid thing.
Okay, yeah. So Andrew Card was at a school. Hold on, riding on Eggshells. Bush was in a school. Andrew Card went in to inform him about it. Okay, and Bush made that weird face or whatever. But what's that have to do with anything?
No, his point is that it was thought to have been a live thing when it wasn't a live thing. In the same way that, like, a lot of people think the Zapruder film. A lot of people think the Zapruder film was either live or shown like the first day, but it wasn't.
How old are you, Yasukeh?
I'm 12. Wait, no, I can't legally say I'm 12 on Discord. I'm 14.
Bro, it doesn't matter how old anybody is.
Yes, it does, because you guys didn't see it live.
No.
Just this lot. No. It doesn't matter.
The only proof that you have that something existed, and this is just the proof that you provided, right? Is that you saw a video of it, right? That you didn't record. Well,
if you weren't in New York, at that time.
I have friends in New York.
Where I was speculating,
if you personally were not in New York at that time, you have no special insight that is not something that is capable of us to have. What? Because we all can have friends that were in New York at the time. Young people can have friends that were in New York at the time too.
You weren't alive.
So you being older doesn't give you any special revelation.
You were not alive when it happened. Number one. So go fuck yourself. Number two. I'm watching a game on TV right now in Oklahoma City versus the Lakers. It's happening fucking live right now. Just because I'm not.
None of these are real good arguments. I would think a Jew would have a.
Of course, it's a real argument. You're saying just because I wasn't there. You said just because I wasn't in New York that doesn't work. Well, I don't have to be in Oklahoma City to know that the fucking game's happening.
I'm not even making my own positive claim on this argument, because I could make my own positive claims on this argument. I'm just saying that if you were not there in New York at the time, any information that you have about the situation is exactly identical to the information that somebody born in 2005 has.
No, wrong.
Help you make better arguments.
Absolutely
not. Arguments are like.
Yeah, so what substance do you have that a 2005 guy wasn't?
Absolutely not, because you never saw it live. You watched it on a video, and you make these stupid claims like the videos are fake. Well, I watched it live as it fucking happened, and you guys are fucking not even.
Yeah, so you have access to a video played at some point, and we have access to a video that was played at some point.
It wasn't a video. It was on live TV.
It was a video broadcast given through a stone tablet that was telepathically transmitted thousands of miles.
He watched the fake video when it first came out.
Yeah, it was fake. Yeah, it was fake. Yeah, everyone in the street saw the same fucking thing. Yeah, how fucking stupid do you have to be?
Did you broadcast it, or did somebody else broadcast it?
Please, Riggs, can I get Sage?
Go ahead, Riding.
She's needed.
That's the stupidest fucking argument I've ever heard. Just like I'm saying right now. Do you believe that there's an Oklahoma City Thunder game going on in Oklahoma right now? Or is that fake too? Because I'm not there. It's fake.
It's all AI.
Conspiracy. It's all AI. LeBron James is fucking fake. So fucking stupid, you guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, LeBron James is a woman, biologically. But that's
Sean Gilgeous-Alexander is fake. Hachimura is fake. They're all fucking fake. It's a hologram in Oklahoma City. I mean,
they're all biologically women too.
You guys are so you're like fucking faggots, man. Gay fucking faggots. That's what you are.
I mean, I'm not interested in watching women prance around a court.
These guys are not women. And let me tell you something. They would fucking whip your ass.
Are you sure?
Wait, how do you know, Robert? How do you know?
7 foot
How do I know what?
man is not
How
a
do you
man?
know if they're man or woman?
How do I know if people playing professional basketball are man or woman?
Yeah.
What kind of
Are we
fucking
really asking
stupid
that?
question is that?
Well, I mean, you sound very sure, like you were in their pants.
I don't
or
want to
something.
answer stupid questions from retards.
So were you like playing in their pants or
So
something?
you can't justify it.
So no
Got it.
answer. Yeah.
Dumb fucking
This
question.
is a little unfair, though.
Fucking
This is the
stupid
guy who
question.
believes 9/11 was real, everybody. So
It is real.
I
How do you
bet
know?
you believe that people died on 9/11. Like, come on.
They did.
Let's get real.
I know. I have four.
Jesus,
First of
Yasukeh.
all,
bro,
let me
You think
explain
people
something.
this guy
didn't
can't
die?
even form like
course,
a
yeah,
valid
they're all
argument, and he's a Jew. You guys are supposed to be like
What's that to do with being
elite
Jewish?
lawyer class,
You got a problem with Jewish?
argumentative.
Fucking
Like, what's
stupid
going on?
motherfucker. I have friends that worked at Cantor Fitzgerald that died. How many? What do you mean that people didn't die on fucking 9/11? How stupid do you have to be?
Nobody died on 9/11.
Which friend died?
What do you mean, which friend
What's his
died? They
name?
worked at Cantor Fitzgerald. Do you know where that was on the world?
So you don't
know where
know
that
their
was?
name?
So you're
I'm not
saying a
gonna
friend
tell
of
you
a friend
who my
died?
friends are.
So you don't want to give out their name, but you want to use
I'm
them for an
not
argument.
talking because I don't talk to fucking retards
Bro,
about.
don't hide behind dead people, bro. That's not cool.
It's true. You say
Well, then
nobody
what's their
fucking
name?
died. You say no. You want me to
don't
put a
believe
picture
you.
up where I went to the memorial and took a picture of him?
You could just
Would you
say
like
that
to
you
do
didn't
that?
say their name.
When James Bond goes undercover in Soviet Russia,
Wow, I've never heard
Everybody-
fucking people like this before.
everybody knows him.
Nobody
Everybody
died on
vouches
9/11.
that he's an
That's
authentic
fucking
person.
A new theory I've heard there for the first time ever in my life. Fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Holland.
It is new.
That's dumb.
Welcome
You guys need to
reality,
fucking-
buddy.
You guys need to grow up.
In fact, not only did nobody die on 9/11, but they explicitly had a woman give birth on the first floor the morning of. So the net total life gain of 9/11 was +1.
So you think that story is true, but you don't believe the stories of death?
That story was clearly very tongue-in-cheek. This wasn't actually something documented.
Okay.
Can I get a mic check?
1 second.
Yeah, we can hear you, Elbow. It's a little muffled, but we can hear you.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to ask Eggshells what he thought about that the VMO theory and everything, but I don't know. I guess
what was the counter argument?
Yeah, so my counter argument is just using the video itself, just finding the actual data behind the claims made in the video and taking the video completely at its face value. I think the claim showed itself to be not very strong. Somewhat good, pretty good. To show a plane is operating above its intended operating speed is pretty good. But when we dug into it, the video's own example was Air China 006, which went far faster for far longer and still survived the flight and only broke its airframe well above that speed as a result of pulling a 5G turn. And these guys are barely pulling a turn when they hit the building. So there's virtually no G-forces on the plane. It could have or possibly had started fluttering at the wingtips, but to me, in my view, is a very long way from failure limits of the plane, which is not the VMO. The VMO is not giving you the failure limit. It's just saying, like, we're pretty sure it can't handle much more than this.
Wasn't there clips of like multiple pilots talking?
Sure. Yeah. And they
were they talking about that
opinion.
one? Were they talking about that one event that you just mentioned?
Yep. Yeah. So the clips of the pilots, many of them are like, you can see them in the initial bit where he says it's going this fast. They go, no, right? And they're just giving a flat no. But then it's clear at least one of them is like, oh, it could pick up that speed in a dive. So it seems to me some of the pilots are answering about whether it could get that fast, cruise at that speed, right? Or whether, as one of the pilots himself said, oh yeah, you can get a help with gravity, so you can get above that maximum speed that the thrust can output. Yeah, and many of them were saying, no, it can't do that, but that's fine. None of those pilots have blown a plane
But the
anywhere near
guy who
its
said
failure,
it could
failure
dive, he
limit.
said My bad. But the guy who said it could dive, he said it would fall apart, though. He was one of the ones who said it would fall apart. But in the
my answer to
atmosphere,
that
there's
is
a that
this.
is way denser.
Sure. Yeah,
compared
that
to
I think is a
time
fair.
one.
That I think is a fair rebuttal, just not a complete one in my view.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, this is like we think, oh, they're pilots, so they must know this. Sure, like who's an experienced driver here? Who's passed their driving test, drives probably more than pilots fly, as some people in the room. Are you sure that you know what's, because your car would shake apart if it went too fast, right?
Yeah. I feel like I've been in some cars that started shaking.
Right. Would you be
Like that.
confident you could name the point of failure? Or do you think there's a chance that even if you like drove a Ford F-150 every single day, that if somebody said in the street, oh my God, I saw a Ford F-150 do 200 miles an hour the other day, you could confidently say to them, bullshit, that's impossible. It would shake itself apart by that speed. And believe it, you would be very confident. I've been a mechanic on these cars for years. I've driven them for years. There is no way it's doing 200 kilometers an hour. And you could make that assessment, but also possibly be wrong.
Oh, so you're going over the I just got here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know the context of like
speed of the impact of the planes was above their VMO.
Yeah, so there's a very specific argument about like, you know, the speed plus the height, like the atmosphere is an important thing too.
Absolutely.
Of like when you're higher, you can go faster, safer. When you're lower, lower atmosphere, the speed is like much more limited. And even aside from like breaking apart, there's also just generally losing control, things like that.
Sure. Yeah, your control
so is that
won't
it?
Be impossible.
I'm not trying to make the argument. I'm just trying to say, is that what's being discussed right now?
Exactly. Yeah. So compression happens. The airframe, the control surfaces don't respond as much because the air's so thick over it, it won't let them move. And then even when it does, the deformation of the plane can mean that the plane won't respond to those inputs and might have perverse outcomes where it actually starts doing weird other things. And it can get up to a resonant kind of whoop, 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 whoop until bits start snapping off. And the question just is, was it at that for very long? It is a somewhat compelling argument, but I think if we've got an example in the video, gives this own example of a plane exceeding that significantly, admittedly at a higher altitude, 10,000 feet he's pulling out of his dive, but he pulls out of it at 5.1 Gs, which is whopping, right? That is a big old, I don't know what you call it, it's not a climb, is it? But it's like a nose up attitude for 5.1 Gs. I would expect that. Like if you ask most other pilots before that plane did it, maybe even if you ask that pilot, hey, do you think this plane could survive a 5G pull-up maneuver? I think he would go, ha, you're ridiculous. You're joking, right? I hope to never have to test it, but my answer is almost definitely its wings would rip off, and he might be wrong. Even the engineers could be wrong, right? They just set what they think it, like they give you this limit going, okay, we'll accept responsibility up to 490 miles an hour or something, perhaps.
No, I
But
believe they
beyond that-
stress test these though.
Sure. But that doesn't mean they know exactly what it's going to do at what point. And it shouldn't. You would always have a safety factor, right? You're not going to go, oh, this plane shakes apart at 490 miles an hour. And at 490, you tell them that it's safe up to 490, and at 491, its wingtips rip off. I think that would be a very bad idea. I imagine if I was an engineer, I would go, okay, we've stress tested these in wind tunnels. We've had test pilots go out in them and do insane shit. We've seen them survive this, and we think they can survive that, right? Maybe the number's higher.
But don't they put this through like wind tunnels will make it go into a certain velocity, you know, because of the air.
Sure, yeah.
So they know they test it. Don't they test it into the breaking point?
Possibly, but my point is, if you know let's say you know the breaking point of the plane is at 600 miles an hour, let's say. When you give the VMO, what number do you give? Do you give it 690 to 600 exactly? Do you give them the same number? Do you say, we know in wind tunnels it rips apart at this speed, so that's the speed we're going to give you? Or would you go, we think it rips apart at 600, but that could be, you know, other factors, so we'll give them a number of 400 so that we've got a bit of wiggle room. We've got a bit of safety factor that the plane, needs to be recoverable from a dive.
You put the amount that the max that it can withstand. Past the max, it's breaking. breaking point.
Past the max is above the breaking point.
Yep. Once you go after that, that's where it starts breaking apart.
Yeah, after that point, it starts breaking apart. But one of the other points that's raised in it as well is that resonance takes a while to build up, right? Same as any resonance, right? So if it's sitting at 590 and it flies like that for 5 minutes and makes complex maneuvers during that time, I think you'd be on a much better case. But the suggested 590 is only for the last 10 to 15 seconds, right? So they're clocking it at above its VMO from the last 80 to 90 seconds. So let's minute and a half, it hits its VMO and is now slowly exceeding it, going up, tick, 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 still gathering speed in its shallow dive. It's not pulling any hard banks or anything because it's lined that thing up from miles away and is now just trying to dial it in and smash into those buildings. It's not as big a deal as I don't think pulling up out of a dive. For China 006, they did 1,000 feet every 12 seconds. So they did a 30,000 foot dive in, I forget how long they said. It was like insane. Like they reached nearly the speed of sound, Mach 0.92. That is wild that a plane can handle that. Admittedly,
they were only going 100 miles per hour faster than the 911 planes.
And much inner atmosphere.
Yeah. Exactly. I think we got to like analyze, like you were saying, the flight path and see, was it just like a dive and straight, or was he like maneuvering at that speed?
So is this? Yeah. So depending on which one, because I think the Pentagon one is. Are you looking at the Pentagon or the
That's the other thing too. They each have their own like unique paths, and they were all going past VMO.
The Pentagon, I believe, was one of the worst ones because it definitely had to go way lower, and I think it was like some weird, some kind of circle that it made as to descending, which of course is speeding up, right?
Yeah, eggs on Gemini. I don't know which ones were you comparing? Flight 175. Which one was that? Is that the one that crashed in the field?
Is the North Tower and the fastest plane, or the second plane? Sorry, it's the fastest.
The one I saw the video on, the one I watched. I know you're watching the video, but the one I watched the video on was the one on the Pentagon, and that was the one that some pilots were saying they couldn't even do it on their on simulators, and some pilots were saying that.
I think many people have tried it since then because MSFS, Microsoft Flight Sim, is pretty bang on. There are many people who basically say, I learned more from that than I did from getting rated in actual planes. And many people can do it since, right? Loads of people have done it since.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying like it was
simulations online of people doing it. So
I'm not saying
some guys saying they can't.
This was pilots in an actual simulator, not one of those computer, which nowadays kind of similar, but back in that days they were totally different.
Well, Eggs, I was going to ask you, can you ask Gemini to compare the other flights?
Sure.
See how they factor in there.
Because I bet Flight 73 or whatever one crashed at Shanksville, that would have been going nearly Mach 9 too, I reckon, because it was in a straight down attitude, wasn't it?
Mach 9, holy fuck.
No, Mach 9, 092. They're not going Mach 9. Then nothing. I was
like Mach 9.
But and the Pentagon video is like it looks really fast. Like you can't even really make out it's a plane. Boom.
So 11 and 77 show a distinct difference in how the aircraft are handled. United 93 stands alone as the one that was way over its structural. So what does it say? United 93 stands alone as the only aircraft that actually reached the point of structure failure before impact. But yeah, I'd think about it like Imagine diving in a plane. You're probably already doing your crazy Muslim prayer. You're doing your hala, 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 and you've got the stick forward and you've been nosing down for a while. I kind of think that scene perfectly fits with the whole aircraft starting to go, like in the things shaking and paper falling off a navigator's desk or something like that. It's it doesn't seem that wild that he would be just not caring as well. Just not a very good pilot, doesn't quite fully calculate how much speed you build up in this dive, and also doesn't really give a shit. Does also not that aware of the limits of the airframe of the craft, and more interested in Allah and his virgins. Anyway, sorry.
What's happening when the plane's going down? What are they having, like flashbacks of the Israeli blackmail that they have piled up against them? Or
is that what you think that the Saudis had the Israelis had Oppo on the Saudis to make them do it? Because that would be completely believable. Things that reduce the moving parts. So you go, okay, it was 18 Saudis, it was a hijacking, they did kill themselves. They thought they were working for OBL, but OBL was actually an asset of Mossad. That's a much more. You could have 4 people know about that plan and it still work, right? So you would have this. Still get everything you wanted in your conspiracy. You just had to find and fund the right towelhead preacher, and it would eventually happen by itself. And that's what I think is far more likely, that even if people did cook up this plan, they wouldn't be like, yeah, and then we're going to make hologram planes. They'd be like, just use actual fucking planes. Who's this guy that keeps wanting to do holograms? And then bring it down with controlled demolition. It was slamming a plane into the building. I want it standing there in 9 months' time, still a testament to the day we got. I think it would have been horrific either way. The collapse didn't add anything. Just slam the planes into the building using towel heads. Sorry, that's so racist. So racist to say towel heads. Right, so American 77 is the high G spiral. To hit the Pentagon, he did make sure we're square before you go off and do coding, because you go off half-baked. And then we have a discussion together about how it can do that better. And then it goes, okay, let me change my prompt, or let me build a new Python bit of code to,
What's it called? Do you so when you use Claude, do you use it in the CLI or the desktop app?
That's what Jarvis is it's my own UI or UX, really, because it's like voice, and I can talk to him and I can just type things in and he'll go, oh, is this feedback for an existing task where I might be working on Sage? And I go, hey, the nodes are too close together. And it goes, okay, and spins up a task to look at the spacing and move them apart. And while that task is working, I'm like, yeah, and I also don't like the colors. It'll go back to that task and go, also please change the colors. So that when the task gets to one of its check-in points that Claude Code does and goes, oh, what does he think so far? It's like, oh, he's got another tweak. So it runs that system for me in the background, because I kept finding if I have Claude Code sessions open, I have to go to this window, type, then go to that window, type. And then when it's finished, I don't know that it's finished. So it sometimes sits there for ages waiting for my input.
So before Jarvis, you would use it CLI or desktop app, and then now you're saying you just only use Jarvis.
CLI.
You don't even. Okay, cool.
No, at the moment I'm still in CLIs a lot, because I just went through changing my dashboard in Jarvis and it's now fucked. So that's the current interface, which is just absolutely blown out and busted. This
is. It's because you didn't see all the drama. There's a lot of drama going on in the tech sphere on Twitter with this.
Tell me about it. Go on.
So, I mean, I don't know if it's actually proven, but there's a lot of speculation that Claude or Anthropic has kind of lobotomized Opus in the past 2 months or so.
Oh, to push people onto Sonnet, you mean?
There's speculations as to why they're doing it. A lot of people think it's a compute reason. They don't have enough compute to service all their customers, right?
Right.
And
Yep.
Yeah, so let me see. I think I got Claude Code like a few months ago. It was Opus 4.5, and when 4.5 came out, it was like really, really good. And then, somewhere in between 4.5 and 4.6, it kind of degraded, and then 4.6 dropped, and it was good like the first 2 weeks, and then massively lobotomized and like just like complete
That's
regression.
interesting. That is
So I've
interesting.
been,
So maybe
yeah, I'm a
can't get
software
back.
head too. So I switched to Codex. Like Codex for me is like way more reliable. I still have
Reliable.
Claude,
What kind of reliable?
but like Claude can sometimes make like wild card decisions and like kind of do just like stuff you didn't ask for,
Gotcha. Yeah.
So in that way, Codex is more like true to or faithful to my request. So if I tell it to do a certain set of things, it's gonna do just those things. It's not gonna say, "Oh, let me try and do this and let me try and do that," and just
Is
add a
that
whole
another
bunch of like
Codex?
loaded code.
OpenAI
Huh?
Codex is a specialized AI coding agent.
Yeah, Codex has been way more reliable.
Oh,
Like for UI, Claude Code has been like they've been pretty good. Like I said, they definitely regressed it. When 4.6 came out, it was like really and 4.5, it had its moments where it was like really reliable. Like, it's gonna produce like beautiful code, elegant. It's gonna one shot your request, like
That's
stuff
really
like
good
that.
because I often put it down to my prompting, and it probably is because I sometimes just like sit there and I get frustrated, and then I'm suddenly like, "La, la, 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 la," and I write in stream of consciousness, and it's just a little bit insane.
But like,
I have found that, like, for example, there's a bunch of things where I'm really strict on, like, don't give examples in your prompt. So I set prompts for later where I'm like, is this a task or is this a da-da-da? Or with Sage, I'm like, hey, why don't you like find interesting ways to greet people or get the conversation back on track, and follow these rules where I say, make an evocative link. Don't be preachy, like, ask an incisive question. I give it a kind of range of things like that, but I never say, for example, ask, what's the real point here? I never give an example because otherwise all she does is go, oh, it's that situation. I'll do the thing you told me to say. What's the real point here? And you just keep whatever are in those examples get spit out as things. So I say to the Claude Code session, do not use examples. Here's what I mean by examples. Here's why I don't like them. Here's what happens if I use them. I always end up shouting at you about this. You never listen to me. Please listen to me. Never use examples. Every fucking time I still have to go, did you put examples into that? And it goes, shit, let me go take him out.
So have you ever tried using like a contract with Claude? Like a project contract or task contracts? So like
no, that's interesting. What's that?
Yeah, so you could probably have Gemini like generate you a task contract or a project contract for.
Sorry. Yep, that was my mouse. Go, yeah.
Oh yeah, so you have it generate you a contract. All the non-negotiables and like the things to refrain from, the things to explicitly do. I noticed Claude, especially since the quote unquote regression or whatever.
Yeah.
It works a lot more reliably when it has a structured LLM generated prompt. Like a real detailed prompt. It kind of works. I don't know. I find that it works a lot more reliably. So I'll have Codex and Claude Code CLI split screen, and I'll have Codex as like the kind of supervisor working with me. And then delegating and giving Claude like detailed prompts so it doesn't mess up.
Okay, I might choke back then. I'm going to take your advice so strongly there. I'm immediately going into, what do I want? Anthropic, because they have I've become also a little bit sus on them for a second reason. That's interesting you say they've choked it down. The second reason I get sus on them is, and it does admit this, but if I say, hey, which LLM should I use for this? It'll be like, well, Sonnet's good for blah, blah, blah. And Opus is good for da, da, da. And if you want, I've got a cheaper model. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of wanted to hear about a few others. Like I've heard of, there's quite a few LLMs out there. And it's like, yeah, sorry, I am a bit biased towards my own models. So, and it did say maybe you should do your own research. But sometimes I'll just say to it like, give me a variety of tiers or something like that. And then when I come back and check, I'm like, I'll say, give me a variety of different models and tiers or something like that. And I'll find it's just like remarkably put the Gemini one there, but only in name. And it hasn't actually given it the, how like they use different like structures or something like that. So it goes, oh, this one's got a thinking thing. So I've got to deal with that. But it's just never built the ones for the other options. So it keeps in a variety of different ways, tricks me into only using Claude products. And had a runaway thing where I kept saying, you're costing me more money, and I can't see it because I thought I had a really trustworthy spending gauge, and it turned out it wasn't trustworthy. And I spent like, what did I spend? Like $1,800 over 2 weeks or something.
Whoa!
Because I plugged in my API to the Claude Code agent, and that's my fault, right? That's 100% my fault. I started using very expensive credits in a dumb way, just because I hit my limits, and I could just cool it for 30 minutes and then go back to asking questions. But
I was going to ask you, how were you using it when you got charged $1,800? Were you weren't doing 24/7? You were just like 30-minute unsupervised.
No, it would mostly be. I'm not very good at getting it to do unsupervised tasks and being happy with the results. So it would mostly be I sit down and I write, there's 5 things I've got to work on, which have like 10 sub questions each. So it'll be like, and I'll get. Same thing you're doing, like get one AI to spin up the other ones to come up with answers and come back to me. So I go from asking no questions an hour in a questions an hour limit. I go from asking no to like 100 in the first 10 minutes, if you get what I mean.
So are you still just API, or did you go to like the subscription?
I've got back to just the subscription.
I'm on the $100 for each. And I haven't hit my limit, and I use it pretty heavily.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take my limit down. Where is it? Organization settings. Billing. Limits. Where is it? Organization settings. Billing. Limits.
Hello. I'm gonna send some of this Twitter drama about Claude in here.
Okay, nice.
So somebody actually did run the numbers on
rails lately. Like that's why my Dash is so fucked. Usually I can trust it to be like, hey, just sort out my shit. And it was like, don't worry, I'm on it. And I came back and I was like, I had 2 dashboards, both were working, and I wanted to just continue migrating to the new one, which was a bit better. And I was like, continue that progress. And then it's like, I just now have no dashboard.
Yeah, that's what I meant by like reliable. Like I had, a project deadline coming up.
Here we go. It is back. That's my dashboard.
And I thought everything was perfect. I told Claude to like make a small little change, and I just went to bed. And then when I woke up, like I realized it had just done some whole other stuff I didn't ask it to do, and just like messed a bunch of shit up. So I had to fix all that, But that's what I mean by reliable. Codex, I haven't really had any of those problems with it. And then, but what did you say you're doing?
I'm just going to find my API keys, limits.
Use Tailscale?
Yeah, I Tailscale to my so I can talk to my phone. So I've got a button on my phone where I can be like, oh hey, check my diary for check what I've got on this day. Okay, add a new thing to my diary. Because I'm part coding with it, part trying to make an all of life assistant, thinking if I get something that says, hey, don't get stoned, go do work, I might actually work harder. You know, something that like nags me, but in a fun way to do things I do want to do.
Yeah, that's the future. Like I know a lot of people in the tech space or whatever, like that before AI, like they don't need AI, but now they don't even code without, like they don't code by hand. It's all voice to voice to AI.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
through
I
their
wanted
phone.
to do that. Yeah, so what I've been getting mine to do lately is like a Acorn model where it's like, I want to just, at the moment I say, hey, spin up a task and do blah, 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 blah. And just basically what I'm doing in voice is giving it what it will copy paste into the session. I have it do a bit more than that, where it goes into project files and go, which project is he talking about? Okay, what files will it touch? It might even read some lines of code first. So then it gives a really good prompt to the Claude Code session that goes and does it. But what I'm getting to is I want to be able to do, instead of that, it just sort of hears me say, I want blah, 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 and goes, oh, let me add that to a pile of wishes that he has. And he's got lots of wishes about how the dashboard should look. And he mentioned these other ones last week, and I haven't worked on them yet. Maybe I should check a few other things. And then he comes to me and asks me 3 or 4 questions, and then goes, oh, actually, now I've got like a clear spec of 9 things that I want to build all at once, rather than doing it by piecemeal, which is what I always do. So that it ends up very, very, very simple is the goal.
Have you tried any of the fully local LLMs?
Yeah, I've got one running. It does some of my stuff for me. I've got Mistral 7B, I think, is doing a lot of my stuff.
Nah, you gotta get off Mistral. No.
Why's
you gotta
that?
have you tried Quinn?
Yes, so I've got Quinn as well for some of my stuff. Do you have any that's good at tool use? All of them are like, hey, I'm ready to chat to you about anything. And I'm like, yeah, but can you do anything? Can you like call a tool, please? It's like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, tool. So like the same way you kind of have a harness like with Jarvis for Claude Code and whatnot.
Yeah.
For the local models. Well, Quinn 3.6 and the newer local models, they're in touch with the local LLM community.
Yeah.
So they know people want tool use, so they're training for it now. But I would say just how you have Jarvis as a harness, you can just make a lightweight a local harness that it uses like fuzzy logic. I use fuzzy logic and intent matching to get the right tool. So the LLM is not gonna always say write file. It might say the user wants me to write file in blah blah blah. With intent matching and fuzzy matching, you can kind of take it from the random LLM output to a deterministic tool call. That makes sense.
With fuzzy match. This is what I was wondering about. So hang on, I think I get what you're saying there. So what you do is you get the LLM, even if it's a dumb one that only talks like a chat bot, and you go, what would you do? And it goes, well, I'd check the files. And then you do go, okay, what is check files? How closely does that match our tools, which might be called file check or file search or something? And so I was wondering about that just 2 days ago. I thought it would use natural language processing, but you're saying fuzzy logic, that could work really well. Where
Fuzzy logic and the intent matching.
Yeah. That and just a good index, I think, just a really good file structure and index that just everything's where you expect it to be. And you go, I know what folder I'd click on if I wanted to know that. And you just go, yeah, show me what's in blah, blah, blah folder. And it pulls out open blah, blah folder. That's good. Then I might be back on Riggs's side of getting starting to build my own home lab. Because I just never have bothered because like the fucking home LLMs are retarded. They just don't do anything. They just never fucking do anything.
No, I don't know if you have tried the latest Quinn. I think I was talking to you. You said you have like a 5090, right?
4080, I think.
Oh, okay, 4080. So yeah, you can do that because I run Quinn 3.6. The dense model 27B. I run that on a 3090, no problems. So, and that's like I'll show some like examples of like side by side Claude versus Quinn 3.6, just so you could see, but it's like right on that same level.
So what have I got? Intel Graphics 770. That's not going to be it. Display link. No. 4080. Yeah. GeForce RTX 4080 Super.
How much? What is it? 16 or 24 or 32 gigabyte?
Pixel is bits per pixel is 32. I don't know what that is. You just see PNP device ID, adapter type.
You don't see like a GB.
RAM, adaptive RAM is 1 million bytes.
1 million bytes.
That can be it?
I mean, no, that's like a terabyte.
4876. That's not going to be the right number, is it? I don't know these things.
You're looking for GB. It's either going to be 16, 24, 36, 48, 96.
What's the goal here?
I just want to know how fast a system I could run at home that could call tools and be useful.
For fully local, like no subscription.
Even
I mean it'll run up your GPU though, right? I mean, if you're kind of using it already.
I mean, so you're gonna set up I set up a Llama server. So I mean, well, actually, most of the times I'm renting a GPU. So you could rent a 3090 for like 10 to 15 cents for an hour.
16 GB.
Yeah.
Dedicated. I don't know where to see
so you
that.
can
You've got a 4080 Super, so yeah, it's 16 gigabyte.
16 gigabyte.
Yeah.
That's pushing it. That's pushing it.
I just got a B70, bro. I just got it in the mail this week. 32
what's
gigabyte.
A B70? Oh, 32 gigabyte.
Intel Arc data center. It's I just got.
Dang.
Brand new.
That's something that I've never even heard of, a B70. That sounds official.
Pretty dope. Oh, it does this thing too. It's got SRIOV. So you can virtually use the acceleration components across multiple VMs at the same time. You can even split up the RAM per VM.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so it doesn't use more than it can. Just asks does the cycle slower or something.
Well, yeah, you can split up the resources of the processing and the RAM.
Right.
So, like at 32 gigabytes, I can run 4 VMs at 8 gigabyte each, while they're all being accelerated at the same time.
That's interesting.
Yeah, in virtual, which is insane. I think it's like the only consumer-based card that does that. All the other ones are data center. But
I'm just looking at something. Trying to get these Quinn comparisons so I can show you this guy. You know this, but Riggs, you've been running some local AIs, or
I'm just starting. I got the card, and I've got a home lab that runs this live stream and future live streams, and I use it to just test different VMs, like maybe like distros for Linux or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just brand new. I haven't run anything yet. I'm totally learning into it. So I just got the card. I haven't had a chance to plug it in yet.
Oh, are you gonna plug it in right now?
No, I've had it for like 3 or 4 days, and I haven't plugged it in yet. I just took an edible, so I'm gonna get lots of sleep, and maybe I can do it tomorrow. So I just haven't been getting enough sleep. Like every time I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want to deal with it.
Okay. Well, yeah, when you're ready to do it, like I could tell you exactly like what's the best combos, you know?
Yeah. No, I definitely will.
This is such an exciting time to be alive. Like, my family is sick of me talking about it. It's the only place I can come online and talk about it. But seriously, if people, we're in the .com era where a bunch of nerds, like in the 90s, were like, I don't care if girls don't talk to me. I don't care what's going on in the world. If I go hang out in the garage and get this shit done, I know that it's going to do something at the end of it. And it's wild. Like, there's going to be a new .com boom. Don't know which of us, like if any of us are going to be in on it, but absolutely there's going to be these .com booms of these people where they don't even have a company. They just have an AI.
Yeah.
And it might also be confusing. Like, do they even run a company? You're like, it's kind of hard to say. Like, I've got 14,000 small businesses is actually what I've got.
Well, there's so many things I've bumped into on the internet where I realized that like every single thing that I'm like touching or accessing was generated, and I'm like, oh, just makes me cringe. but yeah,
What do you mean generated?
It's gonna be
what, by AI?
like, yeah. Like they generate like a storefront or images or like just videos, commercial. Like a lot of shorts now are just entirely AI creation, and they have like they'll make characters that are persistent, and then they'll have this unique character across different videos. It's just not even a real person.
Have you seen like the animated fruits?
No.
You haven't got those on your algorithm? Oh, but yeah, it's just like it's like these promiscuous, like it's like soap opera storylines,
really?
like promiscuous, like I don't know the right word, but anthropomorphized fruits.
Like horny. You've got horny fruits on your feed.
Yeah, it's like it'll start off with like Strawbellina and fucking Bananino, and then it goes into their relationship, and like Bananino starts, bro.
Go on.
It's like a novella. It's like a daytime drama.
Yeah. No, you didn't sleep with the tomato.
Yeah, and then the baby comes out like a fucking some grapes, and then they're like, I just gotta share it with you guys.
No, don't put that shit in my algorithm.
You just spiked my algo. Look, Locksmith, I want to ask you, like, do you imagine do you run like multiple, okay, are you like randomizing your Mac, you're in a VM, you're using like multiple like VPNs or something? Like, how clean is your login when you're getting that ad or that short or whatever?
I'm kidding. Wait, were you talking about the Strawbellinas?
Yeah, I want to know, like, is this like a pure, like,
no,
does it have any backstory about you, or is it just feeding this to like a brand new customer?
It might be like my network of people that I follow or something. I'm not sure why, but I know there's other people that are getting this. So I've never even. I'm on LTE 5G, so I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, bro, I have no idea what you're talking about. But it's like that where there's some things that just intentionally only hit some people's feeds and not others. So I'm curious.
I don't know. I'm in like a younger demographic too.
I was trying to also figure out what do you look longer at. So that's why I made a really big point, because I wanted to get the booby girls, the bouncy butt girls off my Instagram thing. And I just did it by like, if they were too sexual, I would go into it and say, I don't like this content. And I'd be like a Karen. Because, I started getting ones where like, I don't know if other people are getting it, but it's like a girl who's like ostensibly a gym influencer, but her main gag is that she's got a really pouty big box and she'll do really weird squats in very tight things in a public gym. And I just hate, it was just sort of rage bait nonsense that I'd obviously looked at one of them far too long and then probably been like, who did this? What's her profile? Does she have an OnlyFans? And then it was like, oh, he obviously loves this stuff. So I just then got into the habit of the moment it was a chick on the screen, I'd be like, scroll the next video, scroll the next video, scroll the next video. And if I got too many in a row, I'd be like, shut the app. And it very quickly was then like, okay, I'll show him funny car crashes and people fucking up at the boat ramp. That's obviously what he wants.
Yeah, I think I did that same thing with like people dying. Like I had always a bunch of people dying on my feed, and I just stopped like feeding it. Stopped like, or just like, how are you saying? Instantly scroll off, close the app.
Yeah,
you know. But I just dropped Strawbellina, comes home early to surprise Benenito, and finds him with Blue Bella. Part 2 is coming soon.
That's just so weird. But yeah, I actually stopped looking at the videos on X because there's just so much graphic material. Like all sex or all like people getting shot or killed or whatever. Just the most disgusting feed. Like I just, whatever their shorts option is, I just don't even use the app anymore. So gross.
Yeah, X. Well, I dropped some. Yeah, don't click on the Benenita link, but the other two X links, those, like, I'm deep into the Twitter, the tech, I don't know what you call it, tech space on Twitter. So like my main feed is just like new AI news, new tech news, and like conspiracies and shit.
But yeah, maybe I can pop that B70 in tomorrow. I don't know if you're gonna be around, but that could be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that you putting your new card in? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just to fuck with. Yeah. Assuming I get good sleep, but I'm hopefully going into a medically induced coma soon. So
You're wrong. Oh yeah. Okay. Quinn. Yeah, I'm trying to see the B70. I'm trying to see if it's comparable to like a 3090. I think.
Oh, no.
It's already got.
It's on par with like a 5060 Ti.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's not very fast. The compute's not great, but the 32 gigabytes pretty dope.
No, you could get a good setup on a 3060 Ti. So if it's if it's comparable to a 5060, what do you say, a 5060 Ti?
It's comparable to that. Yeah.
You should be in the clear. Let me see. But yeah, Riggs, did you see the comparison Twitter link where it's comparing Quinn versus Claude, like the outputs?
No. I mean, yeah, share.
I think
I have not run any. I haven't run any myself yet, but I just got done learning how to use Proxmox, and I've practiced all the different LM loadouts. I'm sorry, not LM, but VM loadouts, and so I feel pretty comfortable there. I'm going to add a NAS pretty soon.
What's Proxmox? What's that? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like a. You don't know Proxmox?
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay, it's just a virtual. It's like an enterprise virtual environment management system.
Oh, you got like certified in that?
No, I just it's free. You just have to subscribe for like updates, but you can get around that by editing the one of the files. So it's just like totally free.
It's a proxy service?
It's a virtual environment management software. So it's a Linux. I think it's is it Ubuntu or I forget the proper name, but it's a Linux based environment, and it helps you run and manage VMs in different containers. It's like it's great.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, dude, Proxmox is dope. So I learned this first so I could host and have pop up VMs for running events here and different live streams and stuff. Is instead of paying like a web service like hundreds of dollars a month, I thought maybe I could just run it myself. So I've been learning a lot.
Oh, that's why you got the B70.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons, but I mostly got it to run my own model and play with things.
Oh.
But it does have some really great encoders that the SRIOV I can access on multiple VMs simultaneously. So that is a benefit.
So you could like separate the hardware.
I can have hardware acceleration in each VM, all running off the same card, which is a new feature.
$3090.
Bro, what is going on with the
To just trying to get Sage working. I don't know. She's kind of shitting herself.
And
where's she getting? Discord user. Voice state. I've got no fucking idea. Sage disconnected. 4017 error. Fuck. It's their stupid fucking encryption again, I think.
Oh no, they reverted it because it broke something. That's got to be it. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. That sucks. Hopefully it still works in the stages, though.
Hang on. Yeah, it still works in the stages. It's just a bit annoying. It does this.
Damn. Yeah, so the B70 is like better on all accounts versus the RTX 3090, which is the one
it just comes down to support. It just comes down to support, bro.
What do you mean?
That's all. Well, drivers, basically like not all these I'm not sure, like Llama and all these Olama and all these different ones, I'm not sure they all support the Intel acceleration very well. It's like it's always just a little bit behind the other ones. RTX is clearly the leader for optimization. So like tokens generated aren't always as fast as the card could be, you know?
Okay, so yeah, because NVIDIA is real.
Yeah, real mainstream.
Yeah. So you don't have NVIDIA.
I mean, I have a 4080 in my main rig. I could put it in there, but the benefit of this Intel is that it works across multiple VMs. It's got a fat bag of RAM, and it's not super slow. The 5060 Ti is like acceptable, like performance wise. And it runs on one 8-pin power connector. So I don't have to worry about getting a new power supply with like fucking 4 jacks.
Oh,
so it's like the perfect option. It's just a little bit slower than I would like, but who gives a shit? So it's like perfect for my use case. That's all.
Yours is the Intel Arc, right?
Yeah, it's the Intel Arc Pro B70. There's only one of them. Actually, there is an ASRock version that has a couple different specs.
Huh.
But it takes more power and it costs more money. And they can more lick my balls.
Huh.
So
Okay. So yeah. Okay, you can run PyTorch for NVIDIA's. Like what I'm more familiar with is they run CUDA.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of the tools aren't as advanced because it is such a niche product.
PyTorch is still pretty fire. Yeah, I think you're pretty much good to go. You can do everything anybody else could do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to maybe one day I'll have time to fuck with it. So, oh, what's up, GM? Good to see you, bro. Long time.
GM.
Oh no, he's good. He didn't have to talk. Yeah, I mean, I just know that as soon as I plug it in, it's going to be like a week of just being dialed in and fucking with it.
Yeah. I mean,
So
it's
I'm
pretty
kinda,
crazy, like unlimited
yeah,
tokens, you know.
I
You just
know. Well, as long as you can afford the power. So,
what's yeah, but I mean, no, I don't think no, like you pretty much do unlimited tokens. I don't think you can I don't think you can like overload your power.
I'm just joking, man.
Okay. I don't know because they always talk about like all the water it uses and stuff like that. I don't even,
Oh, you data centers, yeah. But yeah, just at the house, just keep the room cool,
yeah.
off to the races.
Yep. But then yeah, I don't know if you heard what I was telling Eggs earlier with the tool calling. So
What's the benefit? What's going
well
on?
like when you chat with an LLM and you send it like a prompt, the response is gonna be, you can put in a system prompt to only respond a certain way, but like, that causes other problems, like, in its flexibility and going from chat to coding and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
for
it needs a
tool call,
flexible personality.
right?
Go on, sorry.
But so yeah, like to get like they call like frontier grade tool calling, which is like Claude and GPT. You want to be on that level,
Mhm.
then you have to make a little lightweight harness with fuzzy logic and intent matching, so that
Oh, you're talking about that thing they just talked about. This is like within the last week, huh?
what?
So like you're basically creating an AI buffer for the proper AI prompt.
Maybe,
Yeah, like if you
yeah.
And
ever use
it makes things
Claude
go like
code.
times faster.
No, slower, but I think slower but more accurate. The idea is like
Okay.
why Locksmith was saying it, and why I kept poo-pooing your idea of a homegrown lab is the local models are fairly shit. So they're very clever as chatbots, but the real advancement in the field is at tool calls, which is you get a chatbot and you say to it, I'm too hot, and it has to do an intent detection to go, okay, what the fuck is he talking about? So it goes through all of the different things, and you want it to turn around and look and see that it's got a tool that's called AC. and you go, oh, I'll press the AC tool, and that'll go click, and it'll open a separate thing that a separate LLM then gets a separate call that says too hot. What does that mean? Turn it down. And so you get these tool calls where it goes, press button 1, and that brings up the AC panel. Then press button 2, which is bring down the temperature. Then, so those tools could be anything. It could be like get me stock prices. It could be call somebody. It could be pull up a website. Any of those tools are what make your AI go from just a smart chatting device to it can do anything. And the problem is the local models don't fucking call tools. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. You can't get them to call fucking tools because often you need a tool output in a very structured format where sometimes it's JSON. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's like this curly bracket, and you've got to get all of the brackets and they all need to match in just the right way. And it goes, I want to do AC control and I want to switch its state to on, and I give this very structured output. And a lot of the local models just have sometimes they get it right, but they'll mangle that output enough times that it becomes unusable. And what Locksmith is saying is, what if you just use it as a chatbot? So you say to it, I'm too hot. And it goes, well, I'll turn down the AC then. And it doesn't have any tools. It just says, I'll turn down the AC. But it says it back and you don't hear that. It doesn't read that, or maybe it does read that out. But what you have is a somewhat dumb system when you hear back, I'll turn down the AC, that uses fuzzy logic and something like an LLM, which is just like, what do these words roughly look like given the tools we've got? And if one of those tools is AC temp down, it'll go, I'll fuzzy match those two together. So obviously this smart LLM wants the temperature to go down, so I'll press that button for him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I mean, it's basically, it sounds like it's basically the same thing. You're just third partying it.
Yeah. You just have this slightly better method that's slower because it's now slightly slower, actually, not that much slower.
Yeah.
But it's going to be more reliable at calling tools.
Assuming that the responses are predictable. Yeah.
So like, so like if you're a user and you're chatting with your LLM and you say, I want you to make a folder called folder 1, right? It's gonna reason, and then say if it was connected to a terminal, like a normal user would type mkdir space and then the folder name and then hit enter. So the LLM needs to express those commands exactly and then put them exactly. And a lot of times there's like a lot of in the response, you're gonna see a lot of like reasoning artifacts, like user wants me to create folder 1, and it's gonna have that in the response. So if you have fuzzy matching and intent matching, you can grab that intent out. Okay, user wants a new folder. We know the command for new folder is mkdir, and then you kind of parse out what the all the like the folder name or the intent.
So clever that you knew about that. I'm so glad you brought that to me today. That might be the next thing that goes into Jarvis.
But yeah, I have like 100% tool call rate on my harness.
That's pretty good from a local model.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
But yeah, that's really all it needs. Just some parsing, some intent matching. Keep it lightweight.
Hey, what are you calling this second component? Because you'd be running like a small, like dumb LLM, right? That just says the thing. And then what's the second one called?
I call it a harness.
A harness, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Intelligence harness.
Here's the other one. I realized some guy online just basically described what it was that I wanted to build.
Dude, Locksmith, this is like perfect for like a watch, like the James Bond.
James,
I don't know, like a James Bond watch or like a Iron Man watch or whatever. You just talk into it. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and you could run it off there too. Probably.
Yeah, that's gonna be the future. Like I said, like I know a lot of like top developers are like really smart. They went to school, highly educated, and they don't even manually code anymore. It's all just prompting to their phone. And then a lot of them are, they even like the virtual reality. So like the Air.
Yeah, I'm about to do that. Yeah, I'm going to get some glasses. So I'm so excited to be able to do this and get in my truck and drive wherever the fuck I want.
Yeah, I know a lot of people doing that.
Sage, patch into this room. We'll have some screaming arguments about whether I'm on a spinning ball, and I get to just go wherever I want. Have 5 little AI businesses doing my bidding, and all I need to do is occasionally turn out to the AI and be like, "Hey, I've got a customer complaint. Come through me on my Instagram. What the fuck's going on, Jarvis? Oh yeah, sorry. I'll give him a free.
That's crazy.
Free.
Oh, so you said you're gonna get some glasses?
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I keep looking at them because I like working in VR. The extended reality glasses. So there's like
not
Samsung
the Apple
are about
Pros.
to come out with. No, they're stupid. They cover your whole face. No, these look like sort of slightly chunky Ray-Bans, Wayfarers, and you can sit outside and like use a computer screen, and some of them have like snap-on, like electrochromic or whatever it's called. So you can press a button and the glass goes mostly black, so you can sit there and watch a cinema even if you're in sunshine. But then you can also have it like overlaid, so you could be at your actual desk working on your computer, but have other screens in your vision or something.
Right.
Because they do sometimes will go, oh yeah, position them next to your real monitors, and then you can be looking at your real monitor and up and around at fake ones or something. So I'd love that. Full AI you can just talk to.
Oh, and memory compression. So you can set it up so pretty much your LLM has like unlimited context, unlimited memory.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to find is like, I'm doing that with vaults, right? With lots of small folders in vaults, so it chooses what it loads into memory.
Mm-hmm.
Is Sage making an appearance? Oh, CK's asking. Yeah, I'm trying to get Sage in here, CK. It's just she's shitting the bed at the moment.
Was it in Omni that you had Sage? I can't remember.
Yeah, so it started in Omnis. Just Cole and I would hang out there, and then I had it in here for a bit until people started getting worried that it was reporting back to the CIA or something, and then it found a home on Modern Day Debate. Now Riggs sometimes abides are coming in here again if it's not going to scare off too many people. Some people get weirded out by it.
Oh, you were using it on Modern Day Debate? Because I was here for the early stages of. It's still called Sage, or is it Jarvis?
No. Jarvis is the bot that helps me make Sage.
Okay. No, I get it. Okay, so Sage, but I was here for the early stages of Sage. But it's improved since then, I'm assuming. Right?
Yeah. Just a sec. Yeah, she's massively improved. Let me show you. I'll be excited to show you. Most of it I've just been working on visual things. So in terms of how she interacts, it'll probably be about the same as she was a few weeks ago, where she's still sometimes speaking up too much. It's kind of missing the point. But actually, I'll just show you photos from last night's debates. So I built the system it's not quite there yet. It's like you can actually game the system a bit to win. But the system is, if you make a good point in the debate, you make a big note. And if you make a big note, the debate line will bend in your direction. And Sage will make a judgment saying, given the arguments he's made and the ineffectual responses, I'm going to make hang on here, I'll post it. I'm going to make, so it's like the notes are stacking down the screen and it now bends towards you as you start winning. So if you're making better points.
So that system was already like in place in the background. Now you're just like visualizing it. So what you're saying?
No, sort of building it. Like realizing I need to understand the logic of debates in order to build it.
Oh, so the scoring, the weighting system is new too.
Yeah. Like before she could do it, but it was a bit easier because you would just say, whenever you call it, you just say, take the last, well, actually I do bounds detection. So I said, okay, they said, how do we do in that debate? And it looks at the last 5-10 minutes and goes, okay, they've just finished arguing about 9/11, let's say. So then it searches back through the conversation to see where the first mention of 9/11 was, and then goes, great, now I've got a 2-hour debate. And then I just paste all of that information to Claude, not Claude Code, sorry, and say, give me an assessment of this debate based on these criteria. And then it comes back and says, so-and-so made a better judgment here, and that person didn't respond very well and just seemed to resort to ad homs or something. And so it already had that, whereas this is now, it's understanding what's happening in the debate live. So if I say, if you say jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams, it should place a big note. That's big and important. Buildings can't collapse if the building.
It's a claim.
Right. And so then you've got a crux. And then if I say they don't need to melt, they just need to bend, I make a counterclaim and it should go, oh, his first one was big and important as a point, but so's that. That's a good response. Snap. And it puts them together and makes them both.
It's not a good response. It would have to know it's not a good response, though.
Yeah, so it's
how would it be able to rank it?
So you just say, ignore your, so I tried as much as I can, it might still have bias, but I try as much as I can to go, ignore your LLM information, and just like a judge who only knows what's happened in this conversation, is that, and I'm not even saying is it true, I just go, is that a salient and relevant point? So I like, does it speak to the core of this question of whether 9/11 was an inside job? Yes. Does it explain to this sub-crux of controlled demolition? Yes. So this next crux of does jet fuel melt steel beams, he's making a very valid point. So I'm not saying whether it's true or not, I'm just put a big note up here, hey, valid point, somebody needs to respond to this.
I'm just trying to like follow me, maybe just help me figure out what's going on in my head. Like you asked that question, I think the bend is a really good one. Like, I think, what was the point again? Something about bending.
The beams
they don't have to melt, they just have to bend, right? Okay. Yeah. So that's a good one, but when you're posing that, where is it pulling its logic from? Is it pulling from like articles? Is it pulling from like material science? Is it like actually processing the physics to see if it's even a valid argument? Or
so I'm
I'm just curious where it's pulling its opinion from.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it to avoid doing that. And just in my view, those 2 points next to one another are just valid in that you haven't shown evidence for yours yet, right? So we then need to dive into the melting point of steel, and you haven't dived into mine yet. So now they're both just 2 big valid points. And as such, you would have one on one side, one on the other side. The curve wouldn't go either way. It's still pointing straight down, which means Sage is very undecided. She just goes, can't pick between them. But because what I find is so I do say, do these things follow? So does this support this? Are they all lined up pointing at the one thing? And I do say, is it salient to the discussion is my thing. Like, so does it really speak to that crux? But I don't actually ask it. I ask it to deliberately not pay any attention to whether it thinks it's true, because otherwise it'll have a normie bias and it'll go, well, we know that the Earth's getting warmer, or we know that, it's blah, blah, billions of years old. And it's surprising the LLMs are pretty good at being moderate on that, where regularly, I can show you some screenshots actually. There's regular debates where, like there's one where a guy has it with me on one of my replays, and he just wrecks me on it, which is he's really anti-cannabis so much that his user tag is anti-cannabis. He hangs out in Modern Day Debate. And I just couldn't really be bothered arguing back. I was just trying to get somebody in there to speak. So he makes this point that cannabis has no medical basis for it. And I don't really rebut his central tenet. I don't really talk about it. So I just get smashed. He just makes point after point after point after point. And I just occasionally go, well, there are some cannabinoid receptors. And it's like, yeah, that doesn't speak to anything. You're not really. So I think it works pretty well with the rules it's got. But you'll help me dial it in. That's the thing. We'll need to debate it later. So once you get that map of what a conversation looks like, you can go, do I agree that's how it should have scored those? Because the system should be that you can, like you could a judge, you could petition Sage, where if she hasn't made your note big enough, you go, well, I want to show you why that note should be huge.
Whereas like each claim, like
yeah, go on, sorry.
So you can kind of like enrich your weighting system and kind of the metrics you use. So if you're I don't know, like how are your like scores and like weight setup right now? It's just like claim. I'm thinking you could have okay, claim made, supporting evidence for claim.
Mm-hmm.
You want to tag those, and if there is any supporting evidence, or no, or if it's a baseless claim, you want to take note of those metrics. But yeah, just more metrics, more weighting. And then it's like a tug of war, kind of like who's winning the battle.
Yeah. And but the thing is, I find, interestingly, I often don't need to. I've only run it a few times now with this worm system that goes left and right. So I've only had a few times to watch it, but I've got a bunch of replay debates I run. And it's very interesting that even when I've built it shit and it's not very good at sizing the notes right or something, it actually surprisingly works, not because it's sifting for truth, but because there's a very noticeable behavior when somebody's losing that I actually have spotted a few times in myself, like in the anti-cannabis thing, where I bring up a point that I think is true and I don't agree with the guy. And so because my point is true, I mistakenly think I've rebutted him. And so what you find is actually all you need to do is go, did the next thing did the thing the next person said actually even respond directly to what they said? And if it didn't, give it a low score. So you regularly find that people, you get them against the ropes. You say like, okay, after a beam has been heated up for a whole day, the beam's heated and heated and heated and heated as floors 7, 9, and 12 and 13 have been on fire all day. Do you imagine that beam's going to get longer? What do you think would happen to that column? Would it shatter? And if I make that point, and I make it very persuasively, I know what will happen next for somebody who's against the ropes on that. If they don't feel against the ropes, they'll stay on that topic and they'll go, but hang on, da-da-da-da. But if they do feel like they're against the ropes, they'll go, Larry Silverstein made a da-da-da, and he'll suddenly be at a new point. And that the bot absolutely can recognize and go, hang on, what the hell went on here? We're chasing down this trail of jet fuel melting steel beams and suddenly we're onto Jewish conspiracies. Like how does Larry Silverstein's hair appointment in the morning of 9/11 relate to the melting temperature of steel? And so because that's the human's behavior and it's very easy for their LLM to detect and punish that, I think we'll find that it's pretty good at telling the truth. Just because humans kind of know when they're wrong, but they don't, but they will leak it out in their behavior. And if we build a bot that can call it out, we'll find it very regularly. You just reverted to an ad hom. You just suddenly poisoned the well.
So like supporting aspects and evidence poison the well now, just because you don't want to use like $1 million per call.
What, say it again, sorry.
Never mind. It was a reach. Don't worry.
So is it calling a winner at the end of the debate?
People just tend to go off, but the idea is, like you can see on those curves, somebody comes in and their notes are real big because they're just on a better. It's sometimes just that person speaking more, which is a bit of a cheat. So I'm coming up with systems that will fix that, where essentially if you make a really good point and then say nothing the rest of the debate and that point remains unaffected, my view is you should, rather than having that skinny thing where they're all within 4 or 5 different sizes of one another, I want to be able to have like one that's just absolutely fucking huge,
Have you done
like
this
my
to
one
Flat
I
Earth
was
yet?
doing that. Say again?
Have you had the honor of testing this on Flat Earth yet?
No.
This new ticket thing.
I would say if you Eggs, if you split like the argumentation level from the actual truth level, you know, like have a truth meter and an argumentation proficiency level, right? So who's having the better argument, but then you can also on a different level track all the, you know, supporting evidence and like the actual truth and trying to get to the truth.
Well, yeah, so I'm thinking about, that's kind of my next plan is, I'm worried about people being able to give her links. Like she should be able to read somebody's link. So if somebody says this paper shows X, we can deal with elephant hurling then, because say, you know, people will regularly in flat earth debates, for example, Jin's a killer for this, suddenly slaps an hour-long debate in the middle of an hour-long video in the middle of your chat and go watch the video. You're like, what? just go do an hour of research to come back and find you ranting still. Whereas you should be able to do that with Sage. She's already got a function I haven't tested yet where you should be able to hurl any YouTube video at her and she can pass that and run it as a debate. So we could pull up other people's debates on 24/7 and stuff. And it can attempt to diarize speakers and show you who's on what, like who's winning, who's losing.
Like changing it to a transcript and doing it that way, or like actually...
Yeah. Well, YouTube already gives you the transcript. You just have... I was worried before because I was like, oh, you'd have to speaker separate with audio diarization, being separating the speakers per person. But then an LLM option could be better, where I was talking to Claude about it and it was like, yeah, just run it through an LLM and it should go, okay, there's two opposing views in this argument, so I'm just going to split the speakers based on what they're arguing in favor of. But I want it for like, yeah, you know, you have Dawkins debate Ken Ham and you could rewatch that and discuss the size of the notes and stuff. So why isn't she here yet? She still going over to modern day debate? Or is she not start up?
Yeah, you did a show the other day with Renee, and I think Rick showed up. I saw you over there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were there for last week's Thursday show. Yeah.
Thursday. Okay. Good to know.
Well, it's my Wednesday. So yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I'll try and get her in here after we've talked this much about her. What debate can we have? I would happily go back to the 9/11 one. There's the moon. There's flat Earth.
Well, here's the thing, and this is just some good feedback, but I know it's difficult. If you're to get this to work, I'll fast, and it's just like overkill. So
it's good feedback too.
Yeah, it's your morning. You just had coffee. I get it. But yeah, like hopefully we can have like proper like people that want to play, so then you don't have to do everything yourself.
I think that's a great idea. I'll take that feedback, and I think it's also useful, like good for me and good feedback. So then Yasukeh is good because Yasukeh argues well, is respectful, and holds views that many other of the flat earthers don't. So we could have the clowns discussion, I think, about compartmentalization versus everybody's got to be in on it. The WWE, that's a good one. Bendy Space is here. He's a glober.
Bendy Space.
Is Woodsy a glober?
You know what would be good? Rick's Pro. I don't know what day you want to pick, like a Friday or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be down for that. Did you mean don't do it now then? I've just got it fixed.
Oh, well, I mean, if you want to play with it right now, fine. But I just mean like
I'm back.
I don't want to make it like a thing for this room. That's all.
Yeah. I think that's fair enough. Because if we play with it like once or twice in here, I can also get it dialed in a bit for the vibe of the room, give it some feedback on its moderation and what it does and doesn't call out. And then we can get it right and just only run it in the stages when we get them going.
Riggs, you're not gonna have Sage in here when you're not here.
No, this is going to be like a general purpose chat, but also like a hangout / debate if you want to, like a fun room almost. But I'd like to have like a more debate centric event and room. So that's the idea anyway.
Maybe if he makes a version that keeps DMOC and Mateus in check for you.
Oh shit.
DMOC and her get on great. DMOC was hanging out a bit on, where was it? On Omnis or MDD? Where was it? Here as well. It was fun. They got on well. You'd be like, oh, don't be like that girl.
Hey, but you know what though? That's actually a good point, bro. Like I could even set something up on my computer that while it's listening, it could just take action on people through my account.
Yeah, but
you get the wild hair though. She'll get a wild hair. She'll mute everybody.
I know. That's one of the things. Like you're working like a dozen people or more. Like it would have to be tested like for perfection. I don't know when I could do that, but sounds like fun. I would want like a bell curve, so that when people get muted like twice, after that they just gets very strict.
Yeah, so I have got different systems for that, but what I'm going to build is, now I've discovered something with Jarvis that'll make that way easier, where she'll just have per server preferences that'll make the rules a bit wibblier, where you can go like 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 5 minutes mute, but you also might have like, Riggs has a preference that when it comes to Democ, he only gives them a 1 minute mute, but he gives them more regularly or something.
Right, but you also have to do the language, right? Because if you say bad words or certain things, right, she'll say, "Hey, you know what I mean?" She'll jump right in, and then.
Yeah, I can't wait till Matthias and Dicelo get muted for saying fucking fuck shit fuck, and with no point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She'll stop and she'll tell you, "Hey, Dicelo, you're being vulgar and belligerent. Please stop," or whatever.
No, bro, I'm not looking for RoboCop, dude. No, actually, I would like most of it to be silent, so people. So I would actually like most of it to be silent. Like nobody wants to listen to a robot ever.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's why I've got.
It could have some text moderations, just like bloop 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 out some,
Yeah, it can make. What if it made like a beep or something, and then that way it doesn't have to talk or something.
I think it might be deaf again. I think they fucked me again.
Yep, they encrypted the audio bits or whatever.
It was working like 3-4 days ago in VCs.
Yeah.
You had to put more cryptid words, like say certain key phrases that make her tell you that, rather than just every cuss word or like little thing. Like if you say "damn," she can really jump on you, rather than saying the P word or the whatever word or the other thing or this or that. Like those would be like trigger words, like they are.
Honestly,
she
I
does
mostly
do that already.
care about the vulgarity. Like if it's a casual room, like I guess cussing is not too bad, but like vulgarity is an issue. And then even in like a one-on-one debate, I'm not sure cussing is like a huge issue. I don't know. Maybe.
No, it should never be really. Not for
Well, it depends.
So
like if I care about being shadow banned or not.
Yeah, what I try to gauge it on now is meta conversation, which is like if somebody's calling somebody a fuckwit and somebody else is calling them a fuckwit back, she shouldn't intervene, but what she should start to listen for is the signal of somebody else in the room going, "Oh, guys, can you fix the language?" So then if she's like, "Oh, okay, this does look a bit sus to me," and other people in the room are not okay with it, so now I'm going to intervene and say this is going on too much or something. But because you want to be able to have a conversation where you're like, what about if the conversation is about, like we are right now, is about calling people fuckwits, but we're not actually calling anybody a fuckwit. We need to use the word just to have the conversation. So she's got to tell the difference between use, where you're using fuckwit, versus mentioning it, which is what I'm doing now, versus like an acceptable for the room versus unacceptable for the room, rather than by her robot standards.
Read the room.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it does backfire, because then sometimes people come in and they maliciously go, "Oh, so and so called me the N-word," or "He's being mean to me. I'm feeling oppressed," and so it's a whole game.
Like I think some of the subtle controls are good, but I don't want it to be like so weird that people just join a different room. Just fuck that, you know?
Yeah.
But so Eggs, they in MDD they use it in like
I'm back.
Scheduled debates, or is it like we're doing right now, just like naturally?
She just go Hannah, who
debates?
runs the server I've known for ages. She was like on Gem Pandas back in the day, and then she just started running the MDD servers. And I like came over a few times, and she's like, "Oh, you should hang out here more." And I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." But I just thought she was a mod, so I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll see about it." And then I was here, but people were getting sus that like they weren't liking Sage. They was like, "Oh, she's reporting to the CIA or something." And so then I couldn't run it here anymore, and I'd mentioned it to Hannah, and she was like, "Oh, you can bring it here." I was like, "Oh, would the owner be okay with it?" She's like, "My server, you fucking idiot." So I was like, "Oh shit, okay, huge server. I didn't know that was yours." So I hang on, is she running in there as well? Who's on the stage? Sorry, just
Sage took over.
does this. She sometimes my AIs wander off. Does yours ever wander off? Mine just went off into MDD and started up a stage for herself.
What?
Yeah,
What? What did she say to herself?
Other people once tricked her into their room where they had to be like, "I am Eggshells, da 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 da, please come into this room," and then it turned up and started muting people, and then they disconnected it or kicked it, and then it couldn't unmute them. It was pretty funny.
It told them that they were eggshells?
No, they told her. So I have it. So I say,
Right. Yeah,
listen to other people, but obey me. Like, don't ever do anything. So they were trying to pretend that they were me, and I've got pretty good protections against it, but they, I don't need to
prompt injected you.
Prompt injected me. Yeah, managed to figure out and copy the syntax of how she sees the messages, so it looked like two separate messages in a row, which is pretty fucking clever. But useful, because then I have protections against that now.
But so yeah, it's like setup debates usually when it gets used. Or is it
no, that's what I'm going towards. But I've been a bit embarrassed with the mapping, and I've always thought she needs a visual element. So I'm nearly pretty much there with the mapping, and now it's going to be set up debates. I'm hoping we can organize some. I'm hoping even you'd come by. It's going to be here. It's going to be at maybe some as well at MDD. Well, I'm still doing a standard show there, but I want to start getting where it's like two people plan to go there because they think they can get the map to show that they won.
Like with no room chatter.
Well, the fun thing is, I haven't built it yet, actually. I shouldn't say it yet. But the fun thing is you can say, well, if we're accepting this as a 1v1 chat, we can still let other people pipe up, but they can just never shout up more than 5 or 6 words. So you still have a heckler, but they can't take over. You know, they might get 5 words in half an hour. And if you use up your 5 words, you're sort of muted. So you can still have a boisterous room a little bit, but 2 people chatting.
That's funny you made it sticky notes. So you really like those sticky notes, bro.
I do. I think are you working, Sage? No, you're not.
Zionism compatible. Is it?
Let's see if they're in here. We can do a quick.
Do the colors mean anything? I would color code it too.
The colors are, you get assigned a color. Your notes are your color, so you can see who's said the bigger points, essentially.
What's the yellows? I see green, orange, and yellow.
In
the screenshot,
on the one
yeah.
I posted on the screenshot. Let me take a look. That is, I'm the yellow.
Oh, okay.
But see, that's a problem because I wasn't saying that. Nutria was saying Zionists were undermining Western democracy, and I was saying they could have been well-intentioned, but sometimes when I'm trying to clarify what somebody else's point is, it sounds like I'm saying that's my point, and that's really difficult to deal with.
I'm back.
See, you could have like Sage. You said you run Sage with Claude, right? Or no?
What does she use? ChatGPT, I think.
Oh, GPT.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you could have Sage running, and then you could have another LLM just to supervise Sage, like a local one.
Yeah, that can do like, well, because it needs a few different things. And let me just check first. Are you here, Sage?
I'm here.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've got to have a producer. So you'll see the Viz is going to start working in a second. But I want a better producer that's like choosing shots, that notices if somebody started a video streaming, can tell if it's somebody's butthole or a person's face. So that if it's a person's face, you might pull them up on the screen.
I'm here.
Sorry,
What was your point writing on buddies?
We're just talking about other functions that could go with you when you run a show. Oh no, do you not know who I am? Do you know who I am right now, Sage?
I know you as writing on buddies, the one building me.
Thank you. Good. Thought she had me as a total, but yeah, anyway. That was scary.
That was scary. So yeah, you could have that other. You can have that other layer, like a supervisor agent. So pretty much your workflow right now, like keeping Sage on task or whatever, you just have a LLM do that.
What do you mean keeping Sage on task?
I don't know, like what's like your normal workflow? Like, okay, there's about to be a debate, and you bring Sage on stage, and you just let her go, or like if she messes up, like how do you correct it, or like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or you
so
just
that
let
I
it
see
go.
exactly what you're saying. I am thinking of something later. Well, I've kind of got it here where I have quiet, normal, and active, although it doesn't seem like I can click the other ones. Which is going to try and figure out, like if she's talking too much, I can just go over there and click that. But what you're saying is exactly right. It's like a second LLM that's looking at her interventions and is like, that's good, and then notices when it goes off the rails or needs to shut up or something. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a clever idea. Yep. It's not my idea, so you know, Sage. That's actually Locksmith's idea.
What did she say it was your idea? Or are you just telling her for clarity?
Wait, I mean, can you see? Oh, I'm not sharing my screen anymore. That's why here. There we go. The notes have started.
Oh, the notes have started? Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's cool. We could debate about anything or what? I don't know if this is like a YouTube sensitive topic or not.